All right, what is going on, everybody? Happy holidays, whatever you celebrate. Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, happy holidays. We have a special game preview today. It is the Christmas Day games for the NBA. We got a few on tab um, this uh, wonderful week. Um, First off, at 12, these are all in Eastern Standard Time. At 12, we have Spurs Knicks. At 2:30, we have Timberwolves Mavs. We have at 5, 76ers Celtics. We have at 8, Lakers Warriors. And at 10, the nightcap, we have Nuggets Suns. We're going to preview these games, talk about who I think is going to win, how exciting these games are going to be, and all that stuff, and some other Christmas Day ish things that are going on this year, involving not just the NBA but the NFL. Just a little something to poke at, to pin it in, to think about, because I do like to give you guys things to think about. If you like what I have to say, like the video. If you have your own opinions, leave them down below. And if you just like the vibes, consider subscribing. Um, yeah, since this is going out on a Sunday, I am not gonna get too deep into who's in or who's out because it could change. We're just gonna go in as if every team is at least somewhat healthy, or in some cases for the Sixers, maybe one of their stars is playing. Nevertheless, I'm just gonna go in with the fact that these games are up to change, and the whoever I pick winning might change depending on who's healthy and who's not. Um, so we will do it that way, go along that school of thought. Um, Again, at 12 p.m., we have the Spurs at the Knicks. Yes, I believe they're at Knicks because the Spurs are away at MSG. Okay. Victor Wembanyama in the Garden. I think this is his first Christmas Day game. Am I tripping by saying that? I don't think I am. I think this is the first one. Or his first real big one. Um, Victor versus Cat. The Knicks are probably the no, they are the better team. The Knicks are the better team. Um, I think Wemby has a good game. I don't think he's gonna have a crazy like 40 bomb, but I think he's at least gonna have like 25 to 30 points. And I think Cat's gonna have the same thing. I think it's gonna be a battle. Um, I think the young rookie Stephon Castle, who is high up on the rookie of the year ladder now, um, going against Jalen Brunson. I think that's something to watch as well. Um, it is an early game, and that's never good for either team, especially a team that's traveling, um, or is away, I should say. But I'm gonna give it to the Knicks in a close one. I don't think this is gonna be a blowout. I don't think it's gonna be a blowout. Um, the next game at 2:30, um, Timberwolves at Mavs. Um, just right out the gate, I'm gonna take the Mavs. I just the Timberwolves are a weird team. I don't think they have it. I don't think, especially in this kind of game when they're away. If they were at home, maybe I'd give them a chance. But going down to Texas, playing what would be Luca and Kyrie, if anything, just Kyrie. Kyrie loves these big games. Kyrie loves these big moments. He's played a lot of Christmas Day games. Um, and I think I'm gonna give it to the Mavs in somewhat blowout fashion. I don't think the Wolves have it against them. Um, Moving down to the 5 o'clock game, 76ers at Celtics. Um, again, this is the one team I have a caveat with the 76ers. I don't know who the hell is gonna play. I really don't. Um, is the NBA gonna make Joel Embiid play on Christmas because it's a Christmas Day game? Perhaps. By what I mean by make him play is like say, hey, you have to play this game or you're gonna get fined because it is a big game. Um, Perhaps. It is the 5 o'clock game. It is that squish game where people are probably eating dinner or probably just finished dinner and eating dessert or whatever the case may be, so they might not care. But considering recent developments, I think all these games matter, and we'll touch on that in a minute. Um, give no whether it's Paul George, Joel Embiid, not Paul George, no Joel Embiid, Maxi and Jared McCain, or I should say, I think Maxi's still out, right? Yeah, Maxi might still be out. I'll check it, but Jared McCain's out. He tore something in his knee, I believe. He's out for the foreseeable future. Um, give me the Celtics by like 20 or 30. I do not believe in the Sixers team. The Sixers team is gonna get embarrassed on Christmas Day. Bookmark it if I'm wrong. I'll eat my words, but they're gonna get blown out. I don't think the 76ers are remotely prepared to take on a Celtics team um, that would just crush them on Christmas. The next one, the one I will be very invested in personally, because LeBron versus Steph is always perfect. It's magic. Um, Lakers versus Warriors in the Bay, 8 p.m. Man, this is an interesting one. Lakers, not the Lakers. The Warriors acquired former Laker and former Net, um, Dennis Schroeder, um, for De'Anthony Melton. For those who did not see that, big deal for the Warriors. Another ball handler, another guy who can run the offense with Steph is on the bench. And the Lakers are I won't say a terrible defensive team, but very wishy washy, very hit or miss, very up and down. Um, they probably deserve their own video, but we'll see what happens with this Christmas Day game. Um, I'm gonna be biased. I'm gonna say the Warriors, but I think it's gonna be a tight game. These games are always so fun to watch. LeBron versus Steph. What is turning into the old guard of the NBA? Um, both both guys really don't have the help they probably deserve in LeBron and Steph. Um, and I think there's a number that Steph always plays bad in Christmas Day games. I think that's a stat, right? Unless I'm remembering that wrong. Nevertheless, I think this time around Steph has it. It's going to be a close game. It always is, but give me the Warriors. And then the final game, the nightcap of the night, Nuggets at Suns. Um, Very short history of beef, but beef nonetheless. Um, is Katie healthy? Katie's healthy now. Yeah, I think he's healthy. I have to check the. Let me check that out. I said I wasn't gonna check it, but we probably should check it just to be doubly sure. But I think the Let me think here. Let me think here. I'd say give me the man. I don't bet against KD, but Jokic has just been on a tear himself. His defense has dropped off significantly, even though he was a not great defender before, but he was a okay defender. His defense has really dropped off. But give me give me the Nuggets, man. I think the Nuggets got it. Yeah. It says Bradley Beal's out. The latest says Bradley Beal's out. Even if it's just that means more balls. Ball. Jeez. more more touches for Booker and KD. This is I just remember this is Russ versus KD again. This is Jokic versus Devin Booker. This has some high stakes in it. This has some beef that goes way back. Not so much KD and Russ, but yeah, it's an interesting game. Give me the Nuggets though. Give me the Nuggets close game. Um, and yeah, that is the Christmas Day slate. And yeah, we're gonna touch on something else real quick, but let me find it. Let me find it. All right, I found it. I should have pulled it up before, but I didn't. Excuse me. Um, but there is some, like I teased at the beginning, there is some NFL, NBA. I won't say crossover, but like stuff that is going on, and there's some other stuff I want to touch on right here at the end, because it is Christmas Day, and I do like to bring some more topics just than what the beginning of the video is sometimes, because I think it's important to add some context in the year that we're in and going forward and the years going on, et cetera, et cetera. But um, the NFL is trying to steal Christmas from the NBA after many years of the NBA having this day, this one calendar day, and then having to deal with um, college football and regular football up until about February. Um, that's when the Super Bowl is, for those who do not know. Um, and then the NBA basically has part of the summer and et cetera, et cetera. Um, but the NBA, or the NFL, I should say, will have Beyonce performing in her hometown at halftime during the Texans Ravens game. Um, and they have Mariah Carey having pre-taped um, performances, performing All I Want for Christmas Is You," and the first ever NFL Christmas Day game on Netflix. Um, this was reported a while ago, but I didn't really see a reason to just talk about this. But now that we're here, I think it's important we talk about it, and also talk about just a little bit what um what this means for the NBA going forward, and if this is a big hit for the NFL. Like I said, the NBA has always had Christmas, dating back to the early 2010s, and the late 2000s, the odds, as some would say, um, has always had Christmas, and the NFL trying to sneak in there and try to. They got Beyonce, which I don't know how much they're paying her, but that's a hell of a lot of money. Um, and the NBA and the NFL have always kind of competed, and the NFL has always sort of won out in the viewership numbers, but the NBA has always been more talked about versus in terms of like off season trade deadline and et cetera, et cetera. But for the NFL to try to sneak in here and try to take Christmas from the NBA is very interesting to me, because the viewership numbers are down for the NBA. Check out that video I made if you want to hear more about that. I'll put a card somewhere. Um, but is the is the is the NFL going to take numbers away from the NBA? Maybe, I don't know. Is a Beyonce performance enough to take eyes off the NBA? I don't know. Um, I think it's very interesting that the NFL chose to do this now. Um, when the NBA is, I want to say, down and out. Not down and out, but um, just just at a weird time. I am looking up the time for the. It's at 4:30. The Ravens Texan game, so that would fall right. Yeah, right between 76 or Celtics. The fan crossover really isn't there. Like if it was Chargers and uh the Patriots maybe. I'm talking also because the Lakers and Warriors are the game after. Um, maybe, but there isn't a lot of fan crossover. And here's the other thing: are Beyonce fans NFL or NBA fans? And I'm not saying you can't. You have to be a fan of Beyonce to watch the halftime show or whatever it is. But is that really like? Is there really any crossover there? I don't know. Is it just for the spectacle of it? Perhaps it probably is, but I think it's just it's interesting. And I was um I was listening to the Dan Patrick show last night, and he had Charles Barkley on. Um, and Charles Barkley, they had a whole conversation. I won't get into it. If you want to check it out, check it out. Dan Patrick show, Charles Barkley, YouTube it, Google it, whatever you want to do. Um, but they were talking about, or Charles Barkley was more so talking about um, starting the NBA on Christmas, because nobody really cares about. It used to be back in the day, a little bit during my time as a youth. It used to be the NBA starts on Christmas. The first couple months, the first month or two, everybody's feeling it out, whatever, and people used to not really watch it, and then Christmas would come and they would watch it. I don't know if that rings true still. I don't think that's a fact anymore. I think whether either you watch the NBA and you care about it, obviously they have the cup now that just ended, and people I don't think that matters anymore. I think it's just the NBA is just there, and whether you're a fan or not, or you just watch the game for your favorite player, you just watch the game, whether it's in October, in December, in February, and during the All Star break, whatever, you just sort of watch it. I don't think that's true anymore, and I think the NBA does need to do something to get people's attention again and get excited for Christmas Day and get excited for these big games, these games they want, whether they manufacture the games or not. I think it's important for them to make it important, if that makes sense. If I'm not talking in circles, like the NBA could have gone Beyonce. I think that's the crux of it. Also, is the NBA could have gone Beyonce, and they just not that NBA fans would have cared about Beyonce, but the NFL is attempting to do things to get people to watch these games. The NBA really isn't doing anything except introducing a cup, introducing these manufactured things and manufactured amounts of money to gift players, and there's an all-star format that's coming in the future, in the near future. But I think the NFL trying to sneak in on the NBA Christmas Day stuff is an interesting fold, and the numbers will tell whether who got more numbers and et cetera, et cetera. But it's just something I wanted to touch on because I know what's going on, and I think it's important to talk about this stuff because in other sports leagues sometimes, because they're all American sports leagues, and some of the biggest days in people's lives. People have time off. People have um, time to watch this stuff. You want to get your views. You want to get your numbers, and it's interesting. It's super interesting that these two American leagues are kind of go at it this year, so you can get more views. And I will be keeping a close eye on it. Um, but nevertheless, um, this is another Christmas video, going over and previewing the Christmas Day games. Um, if you have your own opinions, comment them down below. If you like my opinions, just like the video. And if you just like the vibes, consider subscribing. I would appreciate it. And I will see you guys in the next video. Cheers.